little bit delay for starting this class. Once again, good evening. I'm RAMESH BABU, Training Officer, National Skill Training Institute for Women. Today, I'm going to handle the online class on the topic of apparel terminology, part 1. And first of all, I have to thank NIMI, National Instructional Media Institute, and our DGT, Director General of the Training, who have given this nice opportunity to meet you all. Okay, today, anyhow, I'm going to take apparel terminology, part 1. You know, terminology means lot of terminology is there. It's like an ocean. We can't conclude within one day. Moreover, 1 week also not sufficient to explain each and every terms. But even though I try to complete the important pattern making and cutting terminologies, that one apparel technology student should know. And that's very important, the important terms. And some of the terms we are frequently crossing during our day-to-day theory and practical classes. Some of maybe a new term to you that I'm going to discuss not only the definition, but also to give some important 1 or 2 points along with the term. I just planned today. Today I'm going to take the terminology on base of pattern making and cutting, and tomorrow in part 2, the same time, tomorrow 5 to 6, I'm going to handle part 2, terminology related to sewing and finishing. Okay. And some of the important terminology we should know. And the first one is what do you mean by design? Design, normally we are just using this word. Actually, design means it's a diagrammatic representation of a garment is known as design. For suppose if you are constructing any garment means I want to construct a garment, I have to give the that order to somebody means I can't orally explain that my garment should have this like that. Instead of explaining, a small diagram or figure can easily make understand others about what I actually need. So this diagram we are drawing, this diagrammatic representation of a garment is known as design. For each and everything, whether it may be a mass production or practical classes also, first some steps we have to follow. Suppose if I'm going to teach shirt means, first I have to draw the design only. That's very, very important. So I'm going to take shirt or skirt, anything. Some important steps for handling classes, practical classes. First one is number 1, design. Next one is measurements required, parts to be cut, measurement, like that, step by step. Anyone, it's a prime one. The diagrammatic representation of a garment is known as design. Okay, for each and every order in a garment factory is they are just to do this a prime one, which will be mentioned in almost all the tech pack or spec sheet, anything, the design should be there. Okay, for doing the drawing design means we are not having that much knowledge about drawing. We can easily know how to draw the silhouette of the garment. So by practice we can get. Okay. Then the next definition, next term, style. This frequently we are using the term in our classes. You may be a CTS, fashion design technology student, or dressmaking or sewing technology. Definitely we are using this word style. In mass production, and the style number is frequently they are using this important term. What do you mean by style? Style is a design variation of a garment. A design variation of a garment is known as style. For example, see, shirt is a garment. In shirt, full sleeve single pocket is one style. Full sleeve double pocket, one style. Full sleeve single pocket with flap. Full sleeve double pocket without flap. Half sleeve single pocket, half sleeve double pocket. These are the design variation. No, each and every design variation is known as style. For example, if for one garment shirt, we can derive lot of styles, lot of design variation from that garment. So far, this is known as style. In mass production garment factories, for denoting It's very difficult to denote each and every style by the description like full sleeve, single pocket, full sleeve, double pocket. Instead of that, they will give one number that is known as style number. So style number is an important term normally used in garment factories. So style number, with the help of style number, they can easily understand what are the specifications, what are the important description about the garment that we are going to handle. That's very, very important. So the style number is not followed universally, and normally the garment factory, they are just denoting by giving numbers to each and every style we are handling themselves only. And normally the style number, they will write by using this hashtag number, this symbol. By using this number, they are going to set. In pattern, they will write the style number like this. For example, the style number of a pattern is 1322, means they will put, they need not write the entire style number. Instead of that, they will put this symbol, number symbol, and after that they will write the number. Okay, this is very, very important in style. For pattern making, the design and style is very, very important. And what do you mean by pattern? Already explained in last pattern grading class. Pattern can be defined as a model or replica of various components of a garment. See, one garment is having various components. So shirt is having a shirt is a garment. Front is a component. Back, sleeve, yoke, collar facing, cuff facing. These are the different components of the garment. For that, we are preparing the replica or model of each and every garment. That is known as pattern. Why we are preparing pattern? Pattern is mainly a time-saving device. And normally pattern, or we can prepare pattern by using plastic board or cardboard and any material we can use. But normally paper only we are using. So paper is very inexpensive and is available, easily available. So normally the patterns are called as paper patterns. Okay, what is the use of pattern? Patterns, the advantages or merits of pattern is the patterns are used in bulk cutting or used in mass production. And with the help of the pattern, we can reduce the fabric consumption. Okay, by using pattern layout. What do you mean by pattern layout? Pattern layout can be defined as the arrangement of patterns on a fabric is known as pattern layout. With the help of the pattern layout, we can decrease, we are trying to minimize the fabric consumption per garment. So the patterns are used to save the fabric. So in homemade garments and tailor-made garments, saving the fabric that 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters not a matter. If a tailor is saving 1 centimeter, what is the use? Nothing. See, imagine if a garment factory is producing 1000 garments, means if I'm saving 1 centimeter per garment, means I can save 1000 centimeter in whole. 1000 centimeter means it's nearly 10 meters. 10 meters of the garment I can save, and I can save a lot of money. So for that, the patterns are used to minimize the, and patterns also mainly used to used for pattern grading. Already we discussed in pattern grading. Pattern grading is a process of increasing or decreasing, enlarging or reducing one size to another size proportionately. Okay, so the main use of pattern grading is to reduce the time. And also patterns, if you preserve the patterns, we can use it again and again, and for that we can save the time. And the patterns are used for creating new styles known as flat pattern designing, that are we going to discuss. These are the advantages of patterns. Okay, so this is important. Patterns, a very important term. So pattern can be defined as a model or replica of various components of a garment. And commercial patterns. The definition of commercial patterns known as patterns based on standard measurements are known as commercial patterns. Normally patterns can be divided into two types. One is commercial pattern, another one is personal patterns. Commercial patterns means is based on the ready-made measurement or standard body measurement. So actually commercial patterns means, see, in our India, countries like China, maximum people, particularly ladies, women, they know tailoring very well. If one city is having 100 houses, means nearly 80% of the houses, definitely they will have one sewing machine, because they know how to stitch, how to sew the garment like that. But in foreign countries, European countries and USA, they don't know. And if one person is interested to try to sue one garment, try to construct a garment means he don't know how to cut a pattern, how to cut a garment. But he knows a stitching little bit means he can directly go to the shop and purchase one pattern. That is called as commercial patterns. Commercial patterns are not available in India. Nowadays it's available in India. Previously not available. Commercial patterns are normally available in foreign countries. Commercial patterns means is a package. If I want to stitch one shirt for me, I know stitching, but I don't know how to cut, how to draft and how to cut. For that, what I can do, I can go to the shops who are selling the commercial pattern, and we can purchase the pattern. I can purchase the pattern, and with the help of that, I can sew the garment. Okay. So commercial patterns are normally based on standard measurements. If I want to purchase a commercial pattern means I have to go to the shop and purchase the pattern which is having the size suits me. If I'm having M size means I have to purchase the M size pattern only. So different sizes will be available. So in commercial patterns means it's three parts. One is envelope, another one is pattern tissue, and third one is instruction sheet. In envelope, what is the name of the garment, what is the size of the garment, design, everything will be there, and price will be there. So after opening the envelope, the two portions will be there. One is pattern tissue. Pattern tissue means it will be the real pattern will be in that tissue paper, and I have to duplicate in my another thick paper. And another one is instruction sheet. In instruction sheet, they will mention how I can cut the garment, what is the fabrics required to construct the garment, and how I can do the pattern layout, and how can stitch the garment. Step-by-step instructions will be given. How to sew the garment, step-by-step instruction will be given. Everything in the instruction sheet. So simply saying means if I'm purchasing a cell phone means cell phone is having definitely one outer cover. With the help of that, I can know the model and brand, everything, price, everything. And after opening the package, inside cell phone will be there. Another one is instruction sheet will be there. The instruction sheet will tell how to use the cell phone. So like that, the commercial patterns having three parts. So one is pattern tissue, and second one is that instruction sheet. All together, they just put in cover that is known as envelope. Okay. Actually, these commercial patterns normally they just emerged in USA 1850s. One person, Ebenezer Butterick, he was a tailor. He only prepared, introduced commercial patterns for and ladies and children's garments. Then he introduced for other gents garments also. Okay, the advantage of commercial patterns is we can easily cut and stitch a garment, and with the help of the instruction sheet, everything. And disadvantage is very expensive. It is not available in India. Okay, and third important term is personal patterns. Personal patterns based on the person, based on the personal measurement or individual measurement are known as personal patterns. The patterns are based on the personal or individual measurement. See, if I want to stitch one garment to me means I just make pattern on the basis of my own measurement. So if I prepare the pattern on own individual measurement means that is known as personal patterns. Okay, so that's called as personal patterns. And the personal patterns are normally used in homemade and tailor-made garments. And the main advantage is fitting will be there. In commercial patterns, we can't get that much proper fitting. In personal patterns, we can easily get fitting because we are preparing pattern on the basis of own measurement. And the disadvantage is only the persons who knows pattern making very well only can prepare the personal pattern. Okay, so the next term will be pattern making. So pattern making, the method of creating patterns is known as pattern making. How we are preparing the method. Normally, two methods are mainly used in preparing pattern making. One is drafting method, another one is draping method. And another method is also the flat pattern designing method. Somebody may tell that it is one of the method of pattern making. Somebody may tell it's the variation of drafting method. So the method of creating patterns known as pattern making. Okay. So pattern drafting. The system of pattern making depends on measurement taken from a dress form or model is known as pattern drafting method. Pattern drafting is one of the method. So here we are using the measurements. So measurements means we have to take from a dress form or a model, and with the help of the pattern making drafting tools, see straight scale, French curve, that hip curve, so notches. So all this we are with the help of this tool we are manually preparing the pattern by the help of drafting. Okay, for drafting definitely we should have measurements. We have to know how to calculate, how to implement, how to apply the measurement while drafting. That's very important step. Okay, this is known as drafting method. So next one is draping method. The method of pattern making in which the muslin fabric is draped on a dress form is known as draping method. So drafting method, while we are discussing drafting method, definitely we should have measurements. Okay, so measurements, it may be measurements of a real model or a dress form, and in otherwise in the industry they will give you a spec sheet, measurement chart, and they are using with the measurement we are drafting and preparing the pattern. In draping method there is no need of measurements required. We need one dress form, and the dress form, we with the help of the muslin fabric we just drape on the dress form, and we just try to create the style directly what according to our requirements and expectations. So we simply place the fabric on a dress form, and with the help of the pins and scissors we are just pinning, and we have to cut and remove the extra fabric, and we are preparing one pattern, that is in this method we can easily prepare a pattern that is known as draping method. The main advantage of draping method is anybody can prepare. Definitely the person should have creativity and interest, and particularly patience patience is required. And the main disadvantage is it consumes a lot of time and fabric. Lot of fabric wastage will be there. It consumes a lot of time. This is the main disadvantage of draping method. Okay, and flat pattern designing. So flat pattern designing is the main term we are normally using in pattern making. That is the third method of pattern making in which the pattern of one style is modified into pattern of another style using slash and spread method or slash and lerp method. Example, plain sleeve pattern can be modified into puff sleeve pattern by using slash and spread method. So somebody may tell that it's a variation of drafting method. Somebody may tell that it's a new method, because here we are using the pattern. We are simply manipulating the pattern. We are modifying the pattern. So here see in the example, one puff sleeve, plain sleeve pattern is there. I am using slash and spreading technique. I just modified as a puff sleeve. So this is also one of the creation, one of the method of creating pattern, method of making pattern. So somebody may tell this also one important method of pattern making like that. So, and there are two important methods are used. One is slash and spread method. Slash and lap method means I have to slash and lap, overlap the pattern pieces. That is known as slash and lap method. For example, this ulta, suppose I want to modify puff sleeve into plain sleeve, means I have to do slash and lap method. Here, what do you mean by slash? So here, see, what is the difference between slash and cut? A cut means you have to cut the total part will be divided into two separate parts. That is cut. See, a slash means I have to cut the pattern up to 95%. So only 2 or 3%, maximum 5%, the edges only the two parts are joined. So that is known as slash. That's the difference. That's the main difference between slash and cut. Cut means after cutting, after this process, the one part it will be divided into two bifurcated into two parts, that is cut. But slash means you have to make cut up to 95%, but even at one point the two parts will be joined, that is known as slash. Okay, so the flat pattern designing is mainly used, and it's mainly used in fashion industry, okay, as well as in garment factories also. So then contour normally they will tell in pattern making term, contour normally is a perimeter of the pattern piece. The outside perimeter is known as contour. The silhouette of the perimeter of the pattern piece known as simply, somebody may refer as contour. In another pattern making, contour is another term is there. Contouring means another one technique is there, particularly for ladies outfit and body garments. We are using this technique. Okay. Then block pattern. Block pattern is a very, very important term. The basic pattern which resembles the exact body shape and figure without any style features and seam allowance is known as block pattern. So maximum people knows about block pattern, and some of them doesn't know what is the use of block pattern and what is the purpose of block pattern, where we are using block pattern, like that. Actually, while discussing pattern grading and mass production also, I told that for each and every method, the main use and benefit of the method to save the precious time. Time saving is the main. Like that, the block patterns also is very much useful to save our time as well as to create different types of styles within a short duration of time. Okay, so block pattern is the basic pattern which resembles the exact body shape and figure without any style features and seam allowance. So I have to prepare a block for my body means I have to prepare the pattern. I have to draft. I'm preparing like that. I know how to draft the pattern. You might have studied in your practical classes. So I have to draw all the things. I'm applying measurements, but I won't apply the seam allowances. I won't apply the important style features. Style features in the sense, normally, whatever after preparing the block pattern, if I fit or fix the pattern on my body means, it should fit exactly to my body shape. So without any difference. So it is known as block. So normally we are using one term block. For example, during Ganesh Chaturthi, we are preparing a lot of Ganesha idols, how they are preparing. They're having one block. Inside they will just put clay, and after molding, they are removing the block means we are getting the Ganesh idols. Like that, the block should fix exactly on our body. So for that, we should not give any allowances except ease allowance. While preparing block pattern, we have to give a minimum ease allowance we have to give. There are different types of allowances we are giving along with the measurements during pattern making. What are the different types of allowance? One is ease allowance. The allowances which are given to the measurement for comfort is known as ease allowance. The ease allowance, we must give ease allowance because I am just stitching one garment means, and if I'm just sitting like this, like an idol, like a toy, like a toy means I can stitch like this means there is no need of ease allowance. Okay, because the garments are stitched not for toys, it's stitched for human beings. So after wearing shirt, I can raise my hand like this. So I can go, I can run, I can walk like that. So definitely in our joints and some of the muscles are expanded. So for that we have to give some allowance for comfortness. For comfort, we have to give some allowance, that is known as ease allowance. So other allowance means, what are the other allowance? Apart from ease, we are giving allowances for loose, that is known as loose allowance. See, if I'm having 80 centimeter my chest measurement means I should not apply the 80 centimeter. In 1/4 what will I apply? I apply 20 centimeter for example. I should not apply 20 centimeter. Along with it, I have to apply 2 or 3 centimeter or 1 to 2 centimeter depending upon the style and type of the garment, that is known as ease allowance. We must include that allowance. But apart from that, so I need some loose fitting. There are different types of garments are there. Three types mainly we can say. One is tight fitting garment, normal fitting garment, loose fitting garment. Tight fitting garment example jeans, loose fitting garment example nightwear, normal fitting example shirt. Suppose some persons will vary loose fitting. Further, I am adding some extra allowances, that is called as loose allowances. Sometimes I may add fleet for fullness allowances. I can add for shrinkage allowances are add. So ease allowance, loose allowance, seam allowance, fullness allowance, folding allowance, shrinkage allowance. These are the different types of allowances normally we are using while pattern making. But in block pattern we have to add only the minimum ease allowances only, and some of them won't. Some of them won't do. While for preparing block for dummy means they will just give a minimum allowance, that is called as breathing allowance only. That only they will give. So, and we should not have any other style features, that is known as block pattern. Style features means pleat and shirring or gathering or flare like that we are adding, we should not have any style features. So without simply, and block pattern means simply should have proper curves and measurements, a minimum, a minute ease allowance only, and without any style feature, that is known as block pattern. So the block pattern is also called as master pattern, basic pattern, sloper pattern, foundation pattern, different types they are called. And what is the use of block pattern? So block pattern means, before I am discussing about use, the block pattern set. Normally a block pattern set can be defined as a 5 blocks named bodice front, bodice back, skirt front, skirt back, and sleeve. Normally this known as block pattern set. And block pattern may vary person to actually block pattern normally we can create for ladies outfits and ladies garments, because a lot of design variation will bear. At the same time, for children's block is also there, gents block is also there, and depends upon the garment and type of the garment, the block may vary. And for shirt front, shirt back is there, like that. This is one example for block pattern set, that's all. Okay, so if I'm having the block pattern set means already we discussed while doing pattern grading class. So if I'm just preparing one body's front means I have to take my measurement, I have to cut the pattern, I have to fix on my body, I have to check the fitting. In trial error method, I'm just doing alteration, everything. And finally, I just found this exact pattern with exact fitting. So if I know means like pattern grading only. If we are having the basic one size M size pattern only, we need not draw the basic foundations line. So in the same way, if I prepared a good body's block pattern set for me with perfect fitting, I need not construct in the basic I need not waste the time for doing the basic pattern making and doing by basic construction line, basic pattern making. If I want to stitch a kameez means simply I can just trace the body's front and skirt pattern, and I can change the outline, then only I can get the kameez pattern. That's one technique, the manipulation technique we can use, adaptation technique we can use, we'll discuss. With the help of this, we can save our precious time. So that's the main use of block pattern, is to save the time only. Okay, and adaptation. And somebody may tell manipulation, adaptation both are same in some books. Somebody may tell manipulation, adaptation both are different. According to me, manipulation, adaptation is both are different. Adaptation means adaptation can be defined as a method of manipulating a block pattern into a basic style. For example, I am having skirt block. So already to block pattern means only it's having the basic measurement without any style features. But skirt means it's having lot of different style will be there, and basic style, a basic skirt also I have to give some that extra pleat or dot will be there, some, so like that. So shirt block is into basic skirt pattern, or sleeve block into basic sleeve pattern. See, if having the skirt block, I just modify to basic skirt pattern. If I'm having the sleeve block, then I using the block, I just creating the basic sleeve pattern. This method known as adaptation. Here we are adapting the block. With the help of the block, we are doing the basic pattern. We are preparing the basic pattern. That is known as adaptation. And another one is manipulation. Manipulation means pattern manipulation can be defined as the process of modifying a basic style pattern into a new style pattern. For example, if I'm having a basic skirt pattern, I want, because with the help of the adaptation process, I just modified the basic block, skirt block to basic skirt style. Okay, that is in adaptation method. Then I want to modify the basic skirt into a gold skirt or some other skirt with yoke, some other style means I just trace the basic skirt pattern with the help of slash and spread method, slash and left method, like that. I just modifying into a basic, modifying into a gold skirt pattern. So this is called as pattern manipulation. Another example of that, if you are having the basic plain sleeve means you can modify into puff sleeve. Already we discussed slash and spread method, slash and left method. These are all called as manipulation method. And if you are having the basic shirt pattern means you can modify into classic shirt, modern shirt, classic or modern shirt we can modify. This is an example for that. So pattern manipulation is the process of modifying a basic style into a new style pattern. Okay. So another one important term normally we are using pattern, blending. Blending means the process of smoothing, shaping and rounding the angular lines along a seam for a smooth transition from one point to the next point is known as blending. See, for example, while doing slash and spread method or slash and lap method, while doing, I just see this figure. I just lapping one pattern piece to another one, like that. Then I have to draw a curve after joining, like this. See, after joining, if you're drawing means the line will come in a zigzag manner. Okay, so definitely it will come. If you're doing slash and spread method means definitely some minute, because the curve is changing, definitely some overlapping, some minute up to 5 millimeters, 6 millimeter difference will come. So for that, what we are doing, we should not project back, because the pattern contour, the pattern outline should be a smooth one. While teaching pattern making class, particularly a lot of students, trainees are not drawing the armhole properly. Armhole should be drawn. See, strike a railway track. Railway track means if just a railway track is going, turning means it won't turn suddenly, but gradually is turning, If one railway track is it's going towards the east, then it should go towards north or south means immediately it won't turn like a square. It's gradually turning, like that. For the curves like armhole, neck, we have to draw gradually. For that, we are using French curve. But my advice is you please how to use French curve properly. That's very, very important. At the same time, maximum you just try to do by freehand drawing. That's very, very important. For armhole, neck, you just freehandly, you can just drawing freehand means definitely if while you're using some French curve, if the shape is not matching means you can use, definitely in that time you have to apply the freehand method. So without any tool, you try to draw the armhole, neck curve freehand. That's very, very important in pattern making. So like that, I'm just adjusting. See, instead of that, I'm just modifying this zigzag, that protruding portion, that is known as blending. Here also see some zigzag will be there. The pattern should not be zigzag, it should be a smooth curve. So here the angular line is modified a smooth curve. That is called as blending. It's a very, very important technique, term normally used in pattern making. Okay. And truing also another one is important technique. The blending and straightening of pencil lines, cross mark and dot marks for the purpose of establishing correct seam lines is known as truing. See, for example, see here is there. Here, this I have to make a straight line. So normally if curve is there means I can apply blending. blending. And here some straight line means I just modify a zigzag here straight like this, like this. It may be a light, sometimes maybe a straight line, sometimes a very light curve also. If a very light curve means I can apply a blending and straightening. So this technique is called as truing technique. Normally this term is usually used in pattern making. Okay. And balance. So balance means, the balance is we can tell lot of definition balance, particularly in apparel technology. In principles of designs means balance is having one term. So like that. But normally balancing means we have to match, or we have to give equal importance to two sides, or front or back, or two things. Normally we can tell balance like this. In pattern making term, balance is a perfect relationship between the parts of the garment that when combined from unit in which each part is exact proportion and harmony in with others is all known as balance. Okay. See, balance means we are preparing front pattern, back pattern, sleeve pattern all together, but all should have the equal proportion or should match properly. How? For example, if I am drawing the neck curve means after drawing the neck curve only, I will just going to prepare the collar, for example, collar pattern. And then the collar pattern curve should be equal proportion similar to the neck curve. If a flat collar means it should be properly matched. If a straight collar, that roll collar means we have to follow some proportion. Okay. That is called as balance. And after drawing this, after cutting the pattern, we have to check whether it's having the balance or not. That checking method is known as balancing of a pattern. So finding and adjusting the difference between joining pattern parts to improve the hang and fit of garments is known as balancing a pattern. For example, I just prepared front pattern and back pattern, say shirt or some ladies tops. I just prepared front pattern, back pattern. Then I just prepared sleeve pattern. While preparing sleeve pattern, I have to draw the sleeve curve first. Okay. After drawing sleeve curve, I should not cut the pattern immediately. What I have to do, I have to check the front armhole curve and back armhole curve. Front armhole curve and back armhole curve. The all together we have to add that the same amount should match. Then I have to match the sleeve armhole curve. Suppose say my front armhole curve will come for 20 centimeter, back armhole curve for 20 centimeter, 40 centimeter means my sleeve armhole should have the 40 centimeter. And in that time we have to minus seam allowance also. Suppose you add seam allowance in the shoulder line means we have to deduct. So like that I have to match, I have to check the both pieces. Okay. Then if any variation means I have to modify the sleeve curve only. Somebody will what to do, they will draw sleeve perfectly and they will try to modify the front armhole, back armhole. It's very, very wrong method. Okay. For example, if I want to purchase one chappal, means the chappal should match my foot size. Okay. And if any, suppose I purchase it means I can alter my chappal, but I can't alter my foot, I can't alter my leg, my foot. That's very, very important. Like that, body is first you have to draw the body portion only. Body is front, body is back. Then only you have to draw sleeve pattern. The sleeve pattern only can be modified according to the body's pattern. The body's pattern should not be modified according to the sleeve pattern. That's very, very important. For this, we are checking, like that you can, after preparing collar pattern, you can check whether the collar line and the neckline both are matching, both are having the same measurement. So if like this only, we have to cut. Somebody what will do, they won't check while during sewing, while constructing the garment, they will stretch or they will loose, otherwise they will cut the extra fabric like that. It's a total wrong method. So we have to imagine that we are going to construct a garment by using a thick material without any even a single stitch of 1 millimeter. In that way, we have to imagine like that only we have to prepare the pattern. Okay. And working pattern means normally it's industrial they are using. Working pattern means a traced copy of the block pattern for manipulation is create new designs known as working pattern. So already told I have to prepare one block pattern with the help of the block pattern and create varieties of styles. I told and if because for preparing block pattern I have to spend a lot of my energy time after trying error method checking the fitting like that. So if I using means again the pattern will be spoiled. So we should not use. We just take. We have to trace and we have to take the duplicate copy, and we have to create new designs. We have to keep the block pattern permanently without any modifying without any without any modification, without any. We should not apply any further modification. We have to keep the block pattern as it is. And for creating new designs, we just trace and duplicate the block pattern. Then we have to do, the traced copy of the block pattern is known as working pattern. The pattern plot, another one important term, the act of placing line on a traced copy of working pattern relating directly to the design feature is called as pattern plot. The lines are used to guidelines for pattern manipulation. Already I know, I told for pattern manipulation, what we are doing, we are just doing slash and spread method, means we are putting the lines inside. It may be a horizontal or a constructive one. Suppose if we want to split the pattern pieces in 2 or 3 panels, 2 or 3 parts, means I am drawing some lines. Instead I am doing drawing some lines, these lines are called as pattern plot. The pattern plot. The act of placing line on a traced copy is known as pattern plot. Okay. Another one is first pattern. First pattern definition means the original pattern developed from each size is known as first pattern. So first I'm having block pattern, then with the help I'm tracing the block pattern, then I'm doing that is worked pattern, and after worked pattern I'm checking, I'm checking the things. So normally what I'll do means only half portion only I do. For patterns, I won't cut the, suppose back portion means I'll cut in fold only, one half of the pattern only do for getting proportion similarity or balance. So for that we are doing, So after completing one design, the original pattern, that is that original pattern developed for each design is known as first pattern. Normally the first pattern is having only half of the bodies, only half of the pattern only normally we are developing. Okay, then we have to check fitting. After creating the first pattern, original first pattern, we should not tell it's a correct fitting. We have to check. We have to fix on the fit on the dress form or a model. We have to do corrections. Then only the next pattern will come. That is known as design pattern. In first pattern, it may be some variation. After you are checking the fitting and altering, and finally very good finished pattern you are getting, that is called as finished pattern. The finished pattern that contain all the features relating to design is known as that design pattern. Okay, so for that what we are doing test fitting. Test fit is after completing the design pattern, the design should be cut in your own fabric and placed on a dress form or model for a test fit. Only half of the garment is need to when fitting the form. So somebody what will do, they will directly fix the pattern paper on the dummy and they will check the test. It's a wrong method. The correct method is after completing the first pattern, you have to cut in a woven fabric or knitted fabric. What normally fitting normally we are doing for woven only. Knitting fabric may just now we are not doing that much work. So in a woven fabric and we have to place. So this method is called as test fitting. Okay, there is no need of cut the entire front or entire back. Only half portion can be cut, may be cut. Okay, and so first block pattern we know, then working pattern we know, then first pattern, design pattern. So design pattern, everything we just finished. Everything is finished with checked, everything perfect fitting is there. But in mass production, only of in homemade garments, in home means we can fold the piece, and with the help of the design pattern we can cut, because design pattern is also having one half of the portion of the garment, because if front means only half portion of the front, half portion of the back will be there. But in garment factory, normally they are cutting in open width form. In open width form, So in open width form means what we have to do? We have to make the pattern in open width only. So full front, full back, like that. So, and moreover, front, if I having two pieces means we have to make two pieces. In homemade garments, only one piece is sufficient. With the help of, we can in mass production in garment factories, for obtaining correct fabric consumption, they need two fronts, two backs individually. So like that we are preparing two fronts, two back, two yokes, like that we are preparing for the entire pieces. See, for example, is giving collar 2 numbers, collar band 2 numbers. Collar 2 number means one collar facing. Collar band means one collar band. So like that we are doing, the entire complete set is called as production pattern set. So production pattern means the production patterns, it's a pattern set that are corrected and perfected and contains every patterns required to complete the garment. So this is called as production pattern. Okay. And graded pattern means after production pattern, then it's graded. Production pattern, normally they prepare one size only. Then we have to prepare M size, L size, XL size, like that. If we're preparing M size means we have to prepare L and XL, like that. So with the help of grading, we are preparing. So in grading, pattern grading means, pattern grading is a process of increasing or decreasing or enlarging or reducing from one size to enlarging or reducing a pattern from one size to another size proportionately. In pattern grading term definition, the word proportion is very, very important. So like that, if the patterns are graded into different sizes, then it's called as graded patterns. Okay. Okay, these are the important pattern making terms. Then we are going to discuss the important cutting terms. Normally cutting, the grain is very important. Normally we are drawing one line that is called as grain line in pattern making, And before that, what do you mean by grain? Actually, the actual term, that definition of grain is the direction of yarn in a fabric is known as grain. See, a fabric, normally a woven fabric, is a combination of two sets of yarn. One is warp yarn, another one is weft yarn. Both are interlaced together in a process called weaving. So this direction, yarn direction, is normally, the grain is a term denotes the direction of yarn in a fabric is known as grain. Okay. Then how we apply the grain and grain line in pattern, we'll discuss. There are two types of grain are there. The yarn parallel to the selvage and right angle to the webbed grain is known as warp grain. It is also called as lengthwise grain. The yarns woven across a fabric from the selvage to known as webbed grain is called a crosswise grain. See, this is known as is a lengthwise, the grain, the direction of yarn in lengthwise warp direction is known as lengthwise grain or warp grain. See here, it's a horizontal direction, that is crosswise direction. So this is known as crosswise grain or webbed grain. Okay, these are the two types of grains are there. Other grain is a slanting or diagonal line cut in sewing across the weave of the cloth is known as bias grain. So in normally cutting, what we are doing, we can follow either warp direction or web direction, like that. We can fold here like this, or here like this. We are folding, so direction. Sometimes we can fold the fabric in a cross diagonally also. So this cross direction is known as crosswise direction. This known as angular direction is known as bias. A slanting or diagonal, slanting or diagonal line cut or sewn across the weave of the cloth is known as bias direction. And another one is true bias direction. So what is the difference between bias and true bias? I can just fold the fabric diagonally. At any angle means that is called as bias. If I just fold the fabric exactly, you see in a right angle triangle like that, 45 degree, I just fold the fabric means that is called as true bias. So bias means the fabric may diagonally fold at any angle, but true bias means it should be folded the exact 45 degree angle. The angle, the true bias definition is the angle, a line that intersects with the warp and weft grains at a 45-degree angle is known as true bias. Normally for making chudidar and for cows, some of the flares, we require true bias also. For that we have to cut true bias. So we studied grain, lengthwise grain, widthwise grain, bias and true bias. How we are applying in pattern making, that is very important. At the same time, we should know what do you mean by fabric width. The term fabric width means the distance between selvage to selvage of the fabric is known as fabric width. You know very well. Okay. So before discussing the length, we have to know what do you mean by fabric width, what do you mean by selvage. What do you mean by selvage? The narrow, firmly woven and finished strip in both warp grain edges of the woven fabric is known as selvage. Clipping selvage releases tension. See, the woven fabric is a combination of warp and weft yarn, and normally the edges of the fabric is tightly woven. A thick, it's like a thick it's look like a thick piece like that. So that is called as selvage. Normally the selvage should be the both sides of the fabric. The difference between the selvage to selvage is known as fabric width. Okay. So after knowing this only, we can discuss that what do you mean by grain line. Okay. So grain we know. What do you mean by grain line? The line which denotes the direction of the pattern to be placed on the fabric is known as a grain line. So normally we are drawing one line during pattern making. The line which denotes the direction, the grain, see, one line, long line has been drawn in the pattern, you know. This line, it's mainly denotes the direction of the cutting. Direction of the pattern means in which direction the pattern should be placed on the fabric. Whether it may be a lengthwise direction or widthwise direction or a bias direction or a true bias direction. So this is known as that lengthwise. For this only we are using the grain line. Okay, I'm sorry trainees, I couldn't complete I'm having further 10 slides are there, and already we started a late little bit. Anyhow, I have to wind up the class today, and tomorrow same 5 o'clock definitely we are going to continue this topic. Tomorrow I have to complete the cutting terms, and I want to move to sewing terms also. And I plan to take further terminology classes in future also. Tomorrow we discuss the remaining cutting terms and sewing terms tomorrow. Thank you very much.